Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am here with my January plan with me, a little late, but I still had the footage and I wanted to post it. So basically what I'm doing is a kind of old style house theme. I got the inspiration from Tina's diary, so I will link her channel down below. So I start just by putting a light wash of a light brown beige color as kind of the backdrop for the houses that I'm going to paint. And I kind of bring that up kind of in a like faded fashion from a little bit darker to lighter. And then I go through and I start doing just kind of the background of the houses and the roofs. I start by kind of changing the colors. I don't want them all to be the same color, so I do a mixture of some muted greens, grays, browns, and reds. And as you can see, just putting a light wash. So I had started when I did these by painting the window frames. So essentially like going through and painting out the frames, and you'll see later in the video that I stopped doing that and then I just go over it with white gel pen because it was so much easier and took a lot less time. But essentially what I'm trying to accomplish here with these houses is just some different colors, some different textures, some different styles. And I'm not being super particular on lines as far as them being straight because I really want it to be, I don't want it to look too accurate, if that makes sense. And I apologize for the blurry on some of these clips. I was having a huge struggle with my camera and it kept shutting off. So we ended up buying a new camera, which at the end of the video, you hopefully should see the footage of with the new camera. But I was also doing this at night and I didn't really quite have my filming set up the way I wanted it to, which I still don't, but it'll get better, I promise. So essentially just going in and doing the backgrounds for these. You know, I don't want them to be too perfect, which I don't think I could even do with a watercolor anyway. But keep in mind that if you are wanting to do watercolor in your journal, so this is an Archer and Olive B5 notebook, they do handle watercolor pretty well. However, the pages will get wrinkly. So sometimes people will do it on watercolor paper and then cut and paste it into their journal. It doesn't bother me having the wrinkly pages because I just like kind of that worn look in my journals anyway, so it doesn't bother me at all. But if that's something that would bother you, just keep in mind that any journal that you do this with, unless it's specifically watercolor paper, will do this. So now I'm just going in, and here's where I was saying where I was painting basically the squares and leaving the white frame, which took so much time. And I finally was just like, okay, this is taking way too much time. I'm just going to paint them all in, as you can see here. So then I realized my camera was out of focus and I was like, oh my God, this is driving me nuts. I was getting so frustrated with my camera at this point in time. So now I'm just filling in with it looks black on camera, but it's a pretty dark brown. I didn't really care too much about the color of the inside of the windows, just because I knew I was going to put those frames on there anyway. And I'm doing a mixture of round windows placed in different spots, just trying to create a little dimension in this particular painting. And yeah, so on some of these buildings, I did like a darker brick on the bottom. I did some shutters. And essentially all of this like fine lining detail was just to bring a little bit more life to it instead of looking just like flat houses. This painting took, truthfully, way longer than I expected it to. So the majority of the spreads in here, I didn't do too much. So now I'm going in after this is dry and adding some bricks, some different styles of the front of the buildings, just trying to make them look a little bit more realistic without actually being super realistic. And I apologize, I was out of frame there for a second, but then I realized it and moved it up. So this one I did more of a like regular style brick with the dark, and sorry, my hair's in the way. I'm still getting used to this whole above the head filming thing because sometimes I get super close to my journals when I'm doing stuff like this, and yeah, so this is a learning process for me. I've never filmed anything quite like this before, so this has been kind of a learning curve. If you've ever filmed like an above shot, you know the struggle. So now going into each building, just adding some dimension, adding some stone look to the bottom of this one, and doing a big door. I just really wanted all the buildings to be just a little bit different, but towards the end I started just getting like, okay, this is taking forever, I'm done. And just tried to go as quickly as possible. So, with the exception of adding some of the details to the buildings, I really didn't do too much more painting to this spread, and this is the only page that I did any painting on at all. So just trying to make them look, I wanted like a cute little like old time winter theme. My previous plan with me was December, and it was very Christmas themed, very heavy with stickers and stuff like that. And while I thought it was pretty, I just kind of wanted something a little bit more neutral for January and a little bit less cliche, if that makes sense. And when I had saw Tina's video, she did a couple different videos with these style houses, and she's so talented, and I just really, really enjoyed watching her video. So down on the bottom there, you can see I added a little bit of what looks like a grayish theme, and then I go in and start outlining the boxes like my text boxes. So the calendar is on the left, and then I did January and some hand calligraphy lettering, like a faux calligraphy lettering up at the top, and then I wanted to actually finish the calendar boxes so that way I could finish the Y, so it came back down behind there. So then I'm going and adding the thicker on the downstrokes just so it stands out a little bit. And then I did January goals and then a master task list up at the top. So I'm filling those out, and then I took a copper colored stamp and did 2022, added the dates or the days of the week and filled in the number dates. I started this one on a Monday instead of a Sunday because I liked how the calendar looked with it opposite. So instead of having the one up on the top and the 2 on the bottom, it had the 2 on the top and then the last day on the bottom. And then in this spot, I wasn't quite sure what to add. I was going to do trees and paints, but by this point I was so done with this first spread that I just put things to be grateful for. And I'm going to put white gel pen for what I write on there, so it kind of stands out a little bit on that brown background. And then up here, I just put some important things to remember, just almost kind of like a brain dump page in a sense. And then I go in with a white gel pen and start adding some snow to the top of the buildings on the windowsills and just kind of adding some little details. And then I did some sparkles of snow. And then we're on to the first weekly page. So my camera was not filming when I did my tracker and my content planner, so unfortunately that isn't on video of me making it, but at the end I will show you the video. So this is with my other camera, not my brand new camera, but this was with one of my other cameras, and the quality is definitely quite a bit better. So I kind of do almost like a rolling weekly type where I don't do like 1 week in a spread, I try to fit as many as I can. And then I also add a like notes page where I can add more tasks or anything else that I need to do that I'm not quite sure what day I'm going to do it. So I added craft paper down there, and then I realized I screwed up and that was supposed to be Sunday. So I went and covered it over with a white acrylograph marker from Archer and Olive. And then I went to add the title for this little notes page where I put that craft paper. Just something a little different. So then I put notes in that same faux calligraphy style, but I used a copper metallic gel pen, and then I put the numbers of the day and wrote them out in like a hand lettering style, and then added some stickers and some sparkles, and that was pretty much, I think, the end of this spread. After I kind of added anywhere that I thought it might need some, but I did a mixture of the colors that I used for the spread in here. So you can see me adding in some more little dots, just trying to make it look, I love adding sparkles. And then I did this a little bit after January started, so I went in and added some things that I know I did. And I think this was Sunday, so this was the second that I actually made this. So then here is the January spreads. So you saw the cover page, and then this is my content planner. So I've got the videos that I want to film for both my channels, and then a little tracker for Instagram and TikTok. And then I did a habit tracker, a mood tracker, whether or not I was drinking water, no spending. And then I've got, the first of the weekly. So I will go in and fill these out later. I did not have time to finish them, but they're going to be very, very similar to this. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.